Hello, friends. Welcome to this webinar on designing the Google form for online examination. This is the third video of this series, and this video is prepared with an objective of helping the teachers, helping the educators and teachers to design the online quiz, examinations, etc. for their classrooms. So this is what we have understood in earlier two videos. We understand the importance and usage of Google Form to collect the registration or data by small businesses. In second video, we understood how do we use Google Form for the purpose of survey or filling up the questionnaire as a researcher. And as I discussed, today we are going to discuss about the usage of Google Form to conduct the online examinations or a test or a class quiz for educator, teacher, or a faculties in a school and colleges. So these are 8 different features which a Google Form provides you for online examination purpose. First, we'll understand those features on this PPT, and then we will have a hands-on how do we use those features. To begin with, auto release of score or marks or a point. That means you need not to calculate the marks, scores or a points, whatever you name it, but you need not to calculate it manually, and Google itself provides the final score to your students or whosoever appear for that exams or test. Another facility is Google helps them to identify in case if they missed out any questions, then Google identify that this question is yet not answered. So that is under missed questions. Also at the end of test post submission, Google also shows them with which answer was a correct answer and what was the answer that he or she ticked marked. So the students are also getting the correct answers at the end of the quiz. That too subject to if you want. All these options are available for us. If we want, Google will release this. Point value or a mark score. This is what I said. You can put a different mark score. I mean, you can show your respondent, your students, that what is the mark score for each question. Shuffle option order. I mean, if for every question, if in case, let me assume that we are providing 4 different options. So you can internally shuffle those 4 options. I mean, for one student, it will be shown as ABCD. For other student, it will be shown as BCDA. The third students will get a different option order. So even if the students are sitting nearby each other, there are very less chances that they can copy from the others. Similar to shuffling the option order, you can have a facility of shuffling the question order as well, which we have understood during the last video. Then moving on to compulsory questions. You make the questions compulsory and students need to answer those questions. I mean, again, it is facility for us whether we want to make it compulsory or not. If you don't want to make it compulsory, it is up to you. Different point values. It means in case if you want a different marks for different questions. I mean, some questions which are relatively easy questions, you want to provide them with 1 marks. Some questions which are a little bit more difficult, you want to give a weightage of 2 marks, and some questions which are very difficult, you want to give them a weightage of 3 marks. So even Google facilitates you to have the different marks for different questions, and you as a designer of the form can design for which question how many marks you want to provide them. And lastly, customized theme or logo that will make your quiz more legitimate. We will see that what is the use of each of these 8 different options available to us. In order to in order to use all this feature, what you required, you just required 1 Gmail account. So there it goes. It's a Gmail account. Normally, once you logged in, it will looks like this. This is your inbox. Now from that inbox, click on that Google app, click on the drive. It will open up a drive like this. After opening the drive, click on this new, clicking on the new, get into more. In that in that you will get an option Google form and select the blank form. In earlier video we have understood what would be the importance of this form from a templates and it is useful to whom. Let me start with a blank form. So once you click on this blank form, this is a kind of a form you will get. It will have untitled form, then first questions, then you can add the question by clicking this button. This is a button which will add the questions. Now say for example my quiz, I want to name it as PM quiz, right? So I have some questions already designed. So what I'll do is I will not design this question now. So let me just delete this question because I already have one or two questions. Okay, so what I do, what I does, I prepare one question, and suppose who is our present prime minister, and I have provided them with 4 different options. Please don't enter into the complexity of the questions at present. And my option was to make it compulsory. If you remember, these are the 8 different facilities which we are talking of. So we will take it one by one. So one of the facility was compulsory question. So what I can do is by ticking over here, now this is not compulsory. But when I click on this required, that means now the question is compulsory for me. My another option was shuffle option order. The another option, I mean the another facility which I have was shuffle option order. So what I'll do, I'll just click on this and look at this shuffle option order. That means for every quiz, I mean every time, these 4 options will not be in the same sequence. Sometime option number B would be option A, or option B would be sometime option D. So it will shuffle automatically. So that is another facility which we talk of. Then we were at different point value and all that we will see later on. So now what I'll be doing is I just simply prepared one Google form, put up a questions with some options. Now this is yet not a quiz, it is a simple Google form. So let me enter into this setting. Clicking on the setting, I can see 3 different options: general, presentation, and quizzes. Let me click on quiz. So by clicking on the quiz, look at this. This option is not active. I mean, make this a quiz is not active. So what I'll do is I'll first activate. Now, once I'll activate, you can see that all the various options which are available with this are now open. So the first option is immediately release marks, release score, release point immediately after each submission. If you want your students to get their marks immediately, you can just click on this button. In case if you want the marks to be released after a certain period of time, or you want a manual review of the marks, you can just click on the letter after manual review. Let me not enter into this part as of now. So I want my students to get their marks immediately after the completion of the quiz. Another few options which which we have, these are missed questions. So this is presently on. That means in case if a student miss out any question, will not submit the quiz, that will immediately pop up to their laptop, desktop, or to their mobile phone, I mean smartphone, that the questions are still not answered. Some of the questions are still not answered. So I tick mark on it. That means students will get the notification of missed questions. Similarly, correct answers. In case if I want to show students which was the correct answer of this question, I keep it open. That means at the end of submission, students, and that will happen only at the end of submission, rest assured. So students will come to know that which was the correct answer. And lastly, point value. So that will show that to every student that for every question, how many marks are allotted. As I said that you can allot different marks to each question as well. So presently, how many benefits which we have identified? We have identified immediately submission. We have identified missed question. We have identified correct answer. We have identified point value. So out of this, we have understood what is missed question, correct answers, and a point value, as well as auto release of the score. So first 4 options we have already identified. I mean, we have already understood. We have also understood what is the shuffling of the option order, what is compulsory questions. Now we will move on to the different point value. But the major, and now let me just click on this save. Now, major question arises, how would Google understand, how would this form understand, and which is the correct answer out of this four? Right. Though the answer is very popular, who is the present Prime Minister of India, but machine will not understand unless and until you will provide them with the correct answers. How do we do that? Here you can see that there is a key which mentioned as answer key. Earlier it was not so. When we click on the quiz, answer key is not now available. So let me click on that answer key. When I click on the answer key, this is what they provide me to tick mark the correct answer. So I know that the present correct answer, I mean the correct answer of present Prime Minister is Mr. Narendra Modi. So I just ticked on Mr. Narendra Modi. So now my system will understand that the correct answer is Mr. Narendra Modi. And this is a marks value. So here presently it was 0 marks. Suppose I want to give them 1 marks if they answer these questions correctly. So I marked it as 1 marks or 1 point. And now let me click on this done. That means now look at this answer key. You can see that Narendra Modi has a green tick. That is a correct answer. And for this question, there is only 1 mark. Say, for example, my another question is, who was the first Prime Minister of India? Right. So as we know that, I mean, the correct answer would be Jawaharlal Nehru. So what I'll do is I'll click on the answer key, clicking on Jawaharlal Nehru. But say, for example, for this question, I want to provide them 2 marks. I assume that this question is a little bit more tricky, and I want to give them 2 marks in case if they'll answer these questions correctly. So what I did, I just marked it as 2 marks and click on the done button. So my quiz is completely ready, right? Now you can keep on adding those questions in case if you have, and we understood out of this 8 features, we understood 7 features: auto release of the marks, missed questions, correct answers, point values, shuffle order, compulsory question, and different point values. So for one question we provided 1 marks, for other question we provided with the 2 marks. And now the last one, customized theme or logo. Now I want to make it more legitimate to my students. They should feel like, wow, it comes from my college or my school only. So normally that legitimacy will come from applying the logo. So I want to keep the logo of my institute in this Google form, so that when it reaches to my students, they will feel like, wow, it comes from my institute, it comes from my school, and they feel it more proud on this. So what I can do is, there is an option called customize theme. So by clicking that customize theme, you will get an option, choose an image for header. So let me click on that choose an image. Now there are some ready-made images available. You can choose any one of them. Rather, I don't want to do that. I want to apply my own logo, my school's logo, or my college, my institute's logo, or my college logo, or university's logo. So what I'll do, upload it, click on a browse. It will take me to my computer. Let me this time, I am sorry, but I'm using this logo of Google. I feel that Google will excuse me for using this logo. However, I'm just using this logo of Google, and this Google's logo is already with me in the system. I just click on it. Let's see. See, this is how it looks like. So this will show that your questionnaire is from Google. Here you can put your college, institute, university's logo. And just clicking on this preview, you can see that how this form will looks like to your respondent. This is how this form will looks like, right? So it seems very legitimate because it seems like this form comes from Google, assuming that Google is my school or college. Okay. So this is what is the basic features. Now, very simply, you can just click on the send button. By clicking the send button, you can either send the email if you have the list of email, or in case if you don't want to send them as an email, but you want to give this link, so you can either copy this particular link. You can even shorten this link and then copy it, send it through WhatsApp or through any social media to all your students. Ask them to click on the link. Once they click on the link, they will be redirected to this particular quiz, and they can apply to this. I mean, they can answer all these questions to this quiz. Now, only problem that lies with this entire system, rather not exactly the problem, but only an additional aspect which every teacher, faculty, or a professor expects, and that is Normally every examination, every quiz are time bound. That means it has to be completed in certain given point of time. In case if you want to analyze the timing aspects manually, for you video is over at this point of a time, you can move out of this video and you can take your quiz by manual time management. But I don't want to do that things. I want system to manage my time. So I want to get rid of manual time management and I want to understand how system will do it for me. So let us understand how system will manage the timings of the quiz for you. So let me go ahead. In order to manage the timings, what you require is you have to have an add-ons called the add-ons for the timers. And these are some steps which we require to follow up. We'll first understand the steps in this PPT and then we'll again have a hands-on for the steps. Starting with first, select an add-ons. So when you click on this, when you click on these three buttons, you can have the list where you can select the add-ons. This is where the add-ons are. Second step is install an add-on called timify.me. So timify.me, this is what the symbol of the timify.me add-on. We will see that how we can add this. I mean, we will go with this installation of timify.me. There's a two-step procedure to install timify.me. Then once the setup is successful, you will get this kind of symbol in your Google form. Let us see how it works. Again, let me go back to practical hands-on for this. Yeah. So just click on this, step 1, click on add-ons. When you click on this add-ons, you will be redirected to this is the G Suite marketplace, Google's marketplace. It is available for everyone. And from that, try and identify timify.me. Now, there it goes. This is the timify.me. So just click on it. Now, unfortunately, my system already has the installation of it. You just click on it. When you click on it, it will ask you for, here my system will show me for uninstallation, but your system will show for installation. Click on installation. It will ask for next button twice. It's a two-step procedure. And once your installation is completed, you can see this add-on button over here, which presently you cannot, I mean, you don't have that present button. I mean, if you have not added any add-ons, this button is not available for your Google form. But once you complete that two-step procedure, this button is available to you. And once this button, this symbol is available to us, we should understand that we have successfully set up the add-ons. That means we have completed the step number 1, 2, and 3. We started with add-ons, install timify.me, and setup is successful. Now we move on to other few steps. Now you need to go to you need to browse the timify.me. That's the website you need to visit, because just by adding the add-ons you cannot do these things. First you have to connect your Google form with that timify.me. So the next step is browse through timify.in, join in, or join now or sign in. If you're a first time user, you have to go for join in. Once you create your account, then you can go for sign in. Let us understand step number 4 and 5, and again we will be back to this PPT. So let's have a hands-on. So I have just opened up this timify.me, and there it goes. You can either join now or you can sign in. Because I have not created the account yet, so I need to go ahead with this join now. Or else you can directly click over here, sign in with Google. Right, so it will drag you to, yeah, there it goes. So it opens up my mail ID. So I will mention some of the details which it requires, and we'll go for the registration process. So I can use this for for my further purpose, right? So yep, there it goes. Okay, so it goes for setups. Now please do remember this link. This is very important one. Just copy, just select it and copy it. It is very much required at the time of configuring. So what we did, we have already gone through step number 4 and step number 5. We browsed through timify.me and we join the Timify.me. The next step is configure this Google form with your Google form with Timify.me using this token. Did you remember we had copied one link? So that link is nothing but Timify.me token. So how do we do that? Let's again go back to my form and let's take it up. Okay, so like by clicking on this add-on button, I can get it Timify.me. When I click on the Timify.me, when I will be clicking on this Timify.me, it will ask me to configure this Timify.me with my Google form. It takes some time because we have just put up our account with Timify. Okay, so there it goes. I can see that configure. So configure, let me just click on that configure. So because this is the first time I'm configuring, look at this. Paste your Timify.me token here. So this is something which we have already copied. I am just clicking it, pasting it over here and press the connect button. So by pressing this connect button, I will be now configuring Timify.me with my Google form. And I did these things. Enable add-ons for this form. Clicking this, it will enable the add-on for this Google form. So I'm just connecting the Timify.me with my Google form. Okay, and there it goes. It is now successfully connected. Once we get this information, that means it is successfully connected with. Now, in case if you go for any changes in the form, if you make any changes in the form, say for example, now in place of this untitled form, let me write down PM quiz. So I made one change. So every time you make the change, what you are required to do is you have to configure this Timify.me again and again for every change that you make. However, for second time, it will not ask for the token. Now it understood that you are already have registered. You just need to click on this, click to synchronize Google settings with Timify.in. So once the process is over, this blue dots will be out. Yeah, there it goes. So now the process is over and your form is available with Timify.me, right? So let us go back to our slide and understand the next step of the procedure. So what we did, we browsed through, we configured the form. So now your quiz is available. But where you can see your quiz, you can see your quiz with Timify.me. I mean, you have to visit the websites and your quiz is available on that website. It is now connected. So click on create the now let us visit the website and we will go through this step number 8. Click on create the test, add email ID and select the timing for the quiz because we have yet not selected the timing for the quiz. So let me go to this. Let me visit this Timify. Yeah, there it goes. Look at this. Now you can see PM quiz, because we are already logged in, so we can see this PM quiz. And I click on create test. When I click on create test, first it will ask me is an email ID. So say for example, I'm just putting up, say for example, one of my another mail ID. Okay, so and not to worry about this email ID has nothing to do with the quiz. This is just an email ID required for connection. Now comes to the timer part, right? So these are two questions according to me. Anyone requires 2 minutes, or say for example, let me have only 1 minute, right? So this is 1 minute I have provided to my students, and now these option is very dangerous one, critical one, however very important. Auto clause, closing this form automatically when the time is over. It means if a student is not able to answer within that given time frame of 1 minute, the form will get closed automatically. So I just click on it. It show me some, it show me some warning that really you want to snatch away this form. Yeah, we want to. And another option is allow to view the quiz score at the end of submission. I'll clicking on it, create. So now my quiz is created. Look at this. My email ID is there. Quiz is created. Quiz has a 1 minute. This is a quiz score available. And this quiz is available. Now I'll just click on copy URL. That means now I have copied this URL, and now I can share this URL to any of my students through WhatsApp or through any social media, through email. Anyways, you can just share this URL to anybody. Please understand that it is not necessary only this email ID can appear for quiz. No, anybody can appear for this quiz, whosoever has this URL. So what I can do is I'll just send this email ID to one of my students through WhatsApp or through any other, and when the students will click on that URL, then directly it will open up this. I mean, this is how it will open up the form. So this is the instruction students can read, that this quiz is for this mail ID, having 1 minute only, and this instruction is given that if you are not able to submit, then the form will be automatically out. So after reading this information, your students will click on the form, open the form. See, look at that. This is how the form looks like, and you can see the timer at the top of the quiz, right? So this will show that now only 45 seconds available with the students, and this timer is moving towards 0. The moment it enters into 0, the quiz will be automatically snatched away from the students. Okay, so this is the mail ID. I mean, you can use, I mean, you can put mail ID or the name of the students, their roll numbers, enrollment numbers, any information which you want to put. The student has to submit those informations. So information submitted. For example, I tick marked on first. Here also I tick marked on first. And because now 12 seconds are left, intentionally let me not submit this, click on the submit button. Let me show you whether the quiz will be snatched away at 0 seconds or not. Look at this. There it goes. Sorry, time is over. That means now this quiz is no more available with my students. He should have submitted this quiz. He should have pressed the button of submit before the time gets over. So this is how your student has to be on the toes, because exams, class quiz are always something which are essential and which are time based. So you can set up your timings as well in this Google form while you are designing the quiz. So with this, I rest for this. Should you have any query, feel free to connect on this contact details. I assume that this video would be very informative for all those educators, teachers, professors who are taking or planning to take online quiz for their students or online examinations for their students, be it the semester examination, be it the class quiz. This video would be helpful to all of them. Thank you very much. If you really like this video, I request you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, that is Hiren Patel for Education and Research, and you will keep on getting this kind of informative and interesting videos in future as well. Thank you very much.